Good to go.
Okay.
And welcome to another exciting adventure on Riding Through the Unknown. I'm your host, Michael, and in all fairness, you'll have to give me a little bit of time because I'm still a little giddy over my guest. I have been having such a wonderful conversation with her, and I am so excited to have her on. And the chat room, you guys are already blowing it up, and I'm loving this. So just be patient with me, and I'll get your questions as soon as we can. But with that being said, I do want to introduce my guest, who I could read her bio, but she is just so much more than that and has so much intricateness interwoven into it that I don't think I could do it justice. So I'm going to turn it over to my awesome, amazing guest to introduce herself to everyone. So it is my privilege, honor, and blessing to give you all the one, the only, incredible wise one, Dolly Safran.
Well, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show. My name is Dolly Safran, as you've said. I am a generational contactee. I have been involved since even before my birth. I love dogs. You're hearing me talk. Anyway, so I was born into this. I became fully conscious over the entire thing when I was 14. I decided then that I was either losing my mind or it was all as real as I believed it was. And I managed to achieve consciousness with it. I'm fully wide awake. I have no missing time. I have a constant running as I live my life. Everything is all there for me. ET has been very good to me. They taught me most of my life. They gave me many instructions in many different subjects and things, philosophy and morality and mathematics and physics and astronomy and you name it. If I wanted to know about it, they taught me. And then I had my life here where I was learning here as well. When I was 14, they asked me a question: what do you want to do with your life? And I instantly decided I was going to fly. I want to fly. And they took me seriously. And after a few months of checking me out, making sure that I could do what I wanted to do and that I had the abilities and the talent for it, I began my journey. It took 4 years. I became a pilot. That was tough. That was hard, but I made it through. And I was 19 years old when I finished training, and I've been flying for ET ever since. My life has been one big, huge adventure here and there and everywhere. And it's not just with them. My life here as well. I lived 2 lives, and I got to do a lot of really great things here as well. I've been, when I was in college, I was a limo driver. I worked for the government, worked for the U.S. Department of the Treasury. I worked for Wendy's International. He was the assistant manager. I did all kinds of things. It's endless what I could do. I learned to get my certification in animals with USDA training for zookeeping. I took zookeeping classes, things like that. I'm a nurse. I went to school and became a registered nurse. I'm retired now for a while. I've just had a really glorious, wonderful life. I've worked for the Army and the DoD. I've just been around a lot. It's just been one grand, long thing. And then one day I woke up and I was watching the world and I was thinking, things are not exactly what they need to be. And I decided wholeheartedly to that my path had to do something with giving everybody the message, of what's real and what's not, reality versus fiction. We're in it bad here. We have governments that won't disclose to you. We have people who are totally upset and don't know what's really going on around them. And I don't think that's right. And that's why I decided to come out and come with the message from ET. They took about 6 months to brief me before I fully went into what I was doing. They wanted me to understand the pratfalls and the pitfalls of what I was endeavoring to do. And I'm glad they did, because some things shocked me, and then I found I couldn't find anybody to talk to, and I was very flabbergasted about it. And they gave me Preston Dennett's name. They told me to look him up. So I found him on Weebly.com, and I found videos of him. And I went through his playlist, and I watched the very first video I ever saw him put out, which was way back. And he did it on healings. And I was impressed. I thought, this is a person who's going to tell the truth. He's data driven. He's not, he had no illusions of anything. He had no, anyway, he just wanted to know the truth too. And contacted him, and it's just went from there. I've known him now since 2016, and it took him about 6 years to vet my story and to put it out. And it came out in 2022, May of 2022, I think. The books hit and Symmetry hit, and we've just gone on from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around, you were Department of Treasury with the Department of the Army, I believe you said, and then went to zookeeping.
Yeah, I'm mostly on the zoo, and I've always loved animals my whole life. There's one of the things I was told that was going to be important to me, and it was. I love animals. I grew up with animals, grew up on a farm, and just couldn't help myself, and went that way. And yeah, when I wasn't working for the Army anymore, I wanted to work at the zoo, so I trudged up and went into my family zoo and moved in and took care of animals. So it was fun.
Yeah, and I think we have a question from the chat room, but I'm not sure, because in my opinion says, at question for later, has it been difficult to keep the bad guys away from your life? I'd like to hear about that. We know they don't like contactees speaking out.
Yeah, it's a difficult matter. You're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. It's not been an easy road for me with that. I was identified as a contactee very young and having abilities, and they tried to make a grab for me when I was 10 years old. And luckily, my father was who he was. He was an Airborne Ranger, and he was very capable of protecting me. So they, facilitated that for my brother and I, and we were guarded very well. A second attempt got made on me in 2019. I was living in Florida, and tried to grab me in the middle of the night. And my Toyota, the craft that I fly, woke me up and said, "Look out the window." And I did. And there was a guy standing on the ledge. I was up on the second floor, and he said, "Get out of the room now." I did. I got out, and I was looking through the crack in the door. I wanted to see what he was going to do. And he pushed him off the porch roof, and he landed on the ground rather hard. And then the car that they had a lot of electronic equipment in it, because I was being surveilled, heavily surveilled. And he emptied the car It went up in flames. And we spent the night refilming police cars and all kinds of stuff going on in the backyard while this occurred. Uh, Made another attempt at my life at MegaCon in 2021. My phone got stolen, and security alerted me that they had it. And when I went to get it, I wasn't, you know how it was the first time I'd ever gone anywhere, done anything with this, with ufology or anything. And I wasn't thinking clearly about what my situation was. I was just having fun. And they had my phone in a plastic bag. And the guy put gloves on and he took it out with the gloves and then handed it to me through a slot. And I took it barehanded, stupid me, because what was on that phone was Valley Fever. They had given me Valley Fever. It tried to kill me. I was in on a medical care for 21 days. And but I beat it and I'm good. And I had another instance where just before COVID started, it was in 2019, we had somebody at the zoo come through from China and they sneezed all over me. I mean, oh my God, coughing on me. And I got really, really, really sick before they even know what COVID was. And I'm probably one of the first 8 people, in the state of Florida to come down with COVID. And so that was a tough one, but I beat that too. And so now I watch my back. While we were at MegaCon, I was followed the entire time, whereas there, Preston was with me. He was driving me around because I didn't have my car. I flew in, and he went into shock. He said, "We're being followed," and they pulled into the drive. They pulled, like, here's the driveway, and they pulled across the driveway like this and parked and stayed there all night. And then when we came out in the morning to go to the hotel, MegaCon, they backed up and let us out and followed us again. And I was just followed the entire time, and it freaked him out a little bit. He was like, "Oh my God, you are followed." When I moved back to Georgia after years and years of being away, the first night I was here, I had drones all over my yard. It's like, thank you so much. When they made the attempt in 2019, Talata pretty much let them know. He sent them a message, actually, and said, "Don't touch me and leave her alone. Don't even think about it." So they haven't really tried to grab me since then. Now they're just trying to give me diseases. So
Wow.
I'm a little more aware now. I'm very careful about it now. So yeah.
And it's interesting to me. And by the way, Preston commented, "I will confirm this. They blocked our driveway." And to me, that seems a little strange because when your mind, you think if the government's watching you, they don't want you to know you're being watched. And blocking the driveway seems to be a very overt, not covert method. And the fact that they even moved to let you out, it's like, why are you even here then? If you're going to let us go to the event,
it's intimidation.
What do you care?
Yeah. I knew. Like, when you're psychic, I always knew they were around. There was no hiding from me. One time I became so mad at the fact that I was being watched, I made cookies and got juice boxes and took it to the car and knocked on the window and said, "Here you go."
Oh, that's probably why you fed them. You're not supposed to feed them, Dolly.
I don't know. I just felt bad. It was hot and they were stuck in that damn car, and excuse my French. And so I made them cookies and gave them juice boxes.
That's almost comical.
In front of him, he was paranoid. I said, "Here, look, now you won." He was like, okay, and he took them. So
that's funny that they would be worried about you taking action on them when they're the ones taking action on you.
It's a dance. I swear to you, it's a dance. I know I'm watched. I've heard Stephen Greer talk about his being monitored and maintained. I know that my phone is tapped. They hear everything I say. They know everywhere. I'm sure I'm GPS. Things like that. You can't fight it. So there's just a way to live with it and just be aware of my situation. At all times. That's all I can do. I mean, I'm the idiot who decided to do this and come out with the truth about everything. And so I know I was putting myself at risk. I knew very well I was going to do that. So.
Well, I wouldn't use the term idiot, but yeah, they do make us
every now and then. Yeah, I know. It's okay. I admit it. Yeah.
But so, have you always had the ET contact, or did that come later in life?
No,
And
it's always been there. My very first memory was I was about 10 months old in my crib, and I was taking a nap. It's supposed to be, afternoon nap, and we had level lower blinds, the metal ones, way back when, and yeah, long time ago in the 50s, and I saw it was midday, and this huge bright light shone in the level lower. So I was fascinated. I was like, "What is that?" And I'm like looking at it through the bars of my crib, and then the next thing I know, I'm levitating in my crib. And when I got to the top of the rail, I freaked out, and I tried to flip over to go back down. I was trying to pull myself down, and my memory went at that point. I blacked out. I never forgot it. That's one of my earliest. That's the earliest first memory that I can tell you point blank. Yeah, I remember that. It's funny. Everybody used to say it was. I became weird after that because I wouldn't sleep in the bed right anymore. I put my legs through the bars and hung on. I was afraid I was going to get levitated out again, and so I fixed it so you couldn't pull me out of there if you tried. Um,
it's
no
kind of
problem.
funny because a lot of people would sit there and go, "I'd love to be able to levitate," and you're sitting there going,
No,
"Stop
there was no for
levitating!
that.
You don't want to levitate."
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. I had another incident. My mother was heavily pregnant with my brother. I was about almost 3, and again, supposedly taking a nap. It was very hot. We're in Miami, and I remember them coming to get me. And while I left with them, my mother woke up and went to check on me, and I was gone. All the doors and windows are locked. She's freaking out. She called my dad. They called the police. They put her in a cop car, driving her through the neighborhoods, calling for me. And about an hour after they were doing all of this, they got a call from a U-Totem. It's like a convenience store in Miami. It became 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens used to be called U-Totem. Okay. And I was sitting on the countertop. I remember being with them and them telling me they were going to put me down, and I was going to walk in the building and they would give me a balloon. That's what they told me. And I loved red balloons. Oh my God, I love them. And I was like, hey, okay, I can do this. And they let me out, and I walked around the building. Back in those days, there was hardly anybody around. I mean, we were out in the middle of nowhere. And I couldn't get in the door. It was too heavy for me. I couldn't pull it. I couldn't push it, nothing. And I started banging on it. Help me! And the guy, like, oh my God, he's looking for somebody. And he opened the door and he picked me up and took me in. He put me on the counter. And I'm mad at him now because I expected that balloon. I didn't get it. I started crying. He called the police. The police immediately, they knew they were looking for me. So they brought my mom to the U-Totem. They called my dad. My dad managed to show up. And they couldn't get me to tell them what had happened. I was so blinking upset about not getting that balloon. I was crying my guts out. All I wanted to do at that point was go home. It took a little while for them to release me to my parents because they were trying to figure out how the heck I got out of that house and got there. My feet weren't torn up. That's the other thing that bothered them. So they knew somebody brought me there because I was barefooted. They finally realized that my mom or my dad were not responsible for it, and they let go. And it's a police report that's quote unquote unsolved, to this day. So that was another one. And I started having regular contact after that. When I was almost 6, I had my first real encounter, memorable. I was outside. I was laying in the grass, and we had, in the Everglades, there's gumbo lumbo. We call them gumbo lumbo. They're ficus trees. And they get those long vines that come down. They have little red berries in the wintertime. And I'd lay and look through the branches and look at the clouds, and just wax rhapsodic, about life. It's like, hey, this is beautiful. You're a kid. You're going to do stuff like that. And I saw this huge umbrella in the sky above me, and it was slowly rotating, and it looked just like Mary Poppins' umbrella. And it was weird to me because I just seen Mary Poppins with my dad and my brother. He took us to the Coconut Grove Playhouse to see it. It had just come out. And I'm thinking, where's the handle? Because I knew it had a handle with the parrot. I wanted to see the head of the parrot. And I could hear music. And it came really low over me and then I woke up again. I kind of blacked out, and I woke up, and I was sitting on board somewhere, this place, and I was sitting on this woman's lap. And when I looked at her, I was like, "Holy cow! Wow!" This woman was at least 6 foot, 7'2". I mean, she was tall, and she had no hair and big, huge blue green eyes, beautiful, beautiful eyes, wraparound eyes. I mean, just huge, beautiful eyes. And I'm staring at her and I'm thinking, oh, you're so pretty. And then I looked at her hands and I realized she only had 4 fingers. And I'm like looking at her hands and I'm looking at her, and she said, "Hi, I want you to call me Mama." She said, "You're related to me, so you call me Mommy, and Mama, I'm gonna take care of you when you're with us." And for some stupid reason, I kind of half understood what she was saying to me, what that meant. Okay, I didn't take it for granted, but I did. And she said, "I want you to know that you're all right, and this is good, but don't forget." And the next thing I know, I'm back. Only I'm in the house this time, sitting on the floor. And my mom came walking around from the dining room, like farmhouse, so this huge dining room, okay? And we had a huge eat-in kitchen too, a big country kitchen. And when she walked around from that to the hallway to where the front doors were, there I was sitting there on the floor. She said, "How did you get in here?" And I couldn't tell her. What was I going to say? I had no words for what had just happened. And I felt like if I told her, she'd lose it, because my mom did not like the fact that I was psychic. She did not like the fact that I was telekinetic. She did not like the fact that I did strange things. I was one weird little kid, and it just unnerved her every time something happened. So I kept it to myself. And that was a big one, because that's my first. I have to remember who Mama is. And from then on in my lifetime, I would have experiences, but they were compartmentalized. And my mom, I couldn't talk to my mom about it. And when I tried, she would say, "You're dreaming. You have an overactive imagination. This is not real, blah, 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 blah." So I just kept it to myself. I tried to tell a friend outside of our home, at school, and that went really badly. And I got picked on, mercilessly picked on for it. So I shut up. Okay. And I just kept it to myself. And that's when I got to be 14 years old, and I decided, that's it. I can't handle this, because I have an eidetic memory. I'm able to remember everything personal. I have personal eidetic memory, okay? And I don't forget things, but I was having compartmentalized events. And I swore to myself, the next time something weird's going to go on, I'm going to remember. Nobody's taking it away from me anymore. And that's when I did it. I was absolutely able to do it. And when I did, all my memories, it's like having amnesia and waking up suddenly, and it's a shock. And it made me sick, violently sick. I got a migraine headache from it. I threw up. I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting on board when it happened too. I mean, they brought me up, and that's when I saw Mom, and I was like, whoa, it freaked me out. And I threw up. And but I did manage to remember. When I got back, I was a little fuzzy about it, and I tried to tell my mom what happened. And it's weird, because she was cooking breakfast. It's like 4:30 in the morning, okay? Military family. And the radio was on, and I think it was, the guy that used to do, and that's the rest of the story, that guy. And the news came on, and sure enough, UFOs got spotted over Dayland Mall in Kendall, and 2 officers saw them, and they started describing it. And my mother went, "No, out of my kitchen now." No. And I ran to my dad, and my dad said, "You need to go meditate. You need to get it together, figure it out." And I did. I replayed it and had to go to school that day. And when I got to school, I had a major migraine. My nose started bleeding really bad. And I only stayed there long enough to try to ask one of my teachers to help me. He was like a counselor, psychology guy. And he was going to try to help me, but it got so bad that I had to leave. I walked off, and I live like 60 miles from school, okay? And I walked all the way from the school itself all the way down to Bird Road, Miami, and went to the bus stop, because I would have to take the bus back out to the Glades where we lived. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I was just like remembering. And my mom's best friend just happened to pull up for a red light, and she looked over, and I was sitting there, and she went, "What are you doing?" And she took me home. And I spent the next 2 days just reliving my life, minute by minute almost. And basically, they said, "We're going to let you learn. I'm going to learn how to be a pilot." And it went. They took me on that ride. When I went up with them, they took me to Saturn. I got to see the planet Saturn and its rings. We got to go up and down through the rings. They took me to the top, the North Pole of Saturn. Saturn's very cool. When you're flying in space, you can't really tell up, down, sideways, or forwards. Okay, like you could be upside down and not even know it. All right, but they made sure I understood we're at the North Pole of the planet, and it's a gas giant. Okay, but at the top there's an opening, and it's chevron. It looks like a chevron opening, you know, and you can see in. And it freaked me out. I was like, why is that? And they gave me a lesson about why. And then afterwards, they let me fly there, by the way. They gave me the control. They had a handheld that I used, and they sort of briefed me on what I was going to do, and I got us there. And I piloted up and down through the rings and stuff into the top of the planet. But then after that, he took over, Talada took over, and he took me to the moon, and we soft landed. And that's when we had the talk, what I'm going to do with my life. What are your interests? What do you want to be? And that's when I made the choice. Crazy life, huh?
It is, and I am grateful you made the choice that you did and are stepping forward and sharing all this, because I think it is important that we all know this. And one of the things that I like to hit on, and I'm not going to give ages or anything, I'm not going to age us like that, but I like to point out that when we were growing up and younger, there was not you pick up your phone and call somebody and
That's right.
calling this out. It was, we were on our own. We stood on the wall, our backs to the wall, and we're either going to believe or not. There was no support. We had to stand on our own feet. And now, because we've done that, the new generation's coming in and they're having that support. And so I just like to acknowledge that it's because of people like you, me, Preston, and others who have the courage and the foresight to go, this is going to suck. My life's going to be hell, but it's worth it in the end. And that's where we are today. And so I just like to acknowledge that, because I think a lot of people today, we were kind of discussing this beforehand, have no real concept of what life was like before the handhelds and instant communication.
Yeah, we ran packs and we were wild and free. The street came on, and that meant go home. We lived outside, most of us, all the time. Well, I mean, we had lives, we had social lives, but there was no going to the mall. There was no sports activities. Well, I did play sports, but it was like there was one group mom who would take everybody, jam us in a little Volkswagen VW van and haul us out. It was different, just very, very different. We were responsible little boogers, and we took risks, and we paid the price for some of the stupid things that we did. But we survived.
That's the amazing thing. We survived.
Yes, we did. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more of that going on nowadays. I know that we're very, very connected. We have phones. You can get help when you need it. There's food everywhere. You're not going to starve to death, really. But these things are definitely going to start changing for everybody on this planet, and it's going to be interesting to see how people handle it. It's one of the messages is y'all need to wake up to this, that this is happening. And you all need to learn how to do some things for yourselves, including weight.
That is perfect lineup right to, we have 4 questions in the chat room. The first one is Polly Rotterman. It says, where is the narrative taking us with the allegations about the Tic Tacs and the 3-Eye Atlas threat?
That is fear mongering. It is not real. They are doing this to you. This is not a real scenario. The Tic Tacs are not ET. They are back engineered craft, and it is part of a false flag that they're going to launch on everybody, and it's already started. And it is a wholesale program to make you believe that ETs are eventually going to come and be bad and come after you. And all heck's going to break loose on this planet when they do it, and they're already beginning that. Don't believe anything the governments tell you, please. You need to take it with a grain of salt. Literally, Polly, everything they say. If they tell you to go to the city, turn your around and go the other way, because you are going to be led to not good things. It is sad, but true. People don't realize, if you see the whole picture planet-wide, they've been getting rid of people for a while now. They've been committing genocide worldwide, and they're getting ready to do some more. And they want to control the masses. You're slaves to whatever they want you to think or feel or do. And I would suggest you turn off your bloody Wi-Fi at night so that you sleep Wi-Fi free, so that you're not picking up transmissions from them, because they can send them to you already. You know, they can speak to you psychically through technology now. I mean, there's just so much going on, and it's like everybody's so confused and nobody knows what the absolute truth is. And I'm telling you, the absolute truth is, I can give you 3 points to it. First thing, ET are not here right now. They cannot fly here. They are not here. They left in 2022. Our magnetosphere is so far down. There's no, the lines, electromagnetic field lines on this planet are so chaotic, they stopped flying because they were crashing too much. They're done. They cannot come back until that changes. The second thing that I can tell you is the bloody people on the ground here, the military industrial complexes, and I'm saying it plurally, they're everywhere now, know it, and they're acting accordingly, and they have a short amount of time because they know what's coming at us. And the third point I want to make to you is that we didn't come here for this, for them to treat us like this. We came here to learn. We came here to be enjoyed. We came here to become wise and, ascend literally in wisdom and ability. And they've taken that away from us. And y'all need to sit down and seriously consider what that means, and what it would take for you to achieve wakefulness. When I say that, I literally mean it. I am no longer asleep. I am no longer, y'all been duped into thinking you have a subconscious. No, you do not. You have consciousness, and it's awake, and it's trying to communicate with you through your brain, your own brain. And it's all clogged up right now, messed up with all kinds of things coming at you because you can't think straight. And that's what you need to achieve. You need to let all this stupid stuff go and quit listening to them. Clean up your body, clean up the water that you drink, no fluoride, and start making contact with the truth, with the universe itself. God is God. I mean, ET believes in God. They don't call it God. They say the All-Mind. And I do too, because it's a little bit more descriptive of what God really is. Okay?
Yeah.
It is important that you develop your spirituality, you develop your morality, you develop your understanding of nature and what truth really is, and science and all that stuff. And give yourself a break, and don't believe just what anybody tells you, not even me. And look this stuff up and teach yourself everything you need to know, because your autonomy is very important. Everybody's is. We're all autonomous beings, and you have a right to the truth and understanding and knowledge, not belief and half knowing and docudramas or political drama and wars and hate and all this other stuff. You don't deserve that. Nobody here does. And we've been sucked into it. Unsuck yourself. Get out of it. Walk away. See what happens.
I agree. And I'm going to skip one of the questions, because one of the questions dealt with what you were talking about with Saturn. So I don't want to get too far from that topic, because I don't want to have to backtrack too much in the show. So, in my opinion, was asking, were the rings of Saturn colorful?
Yes, somewhat. It's still pretty. Space is really black and white. There's varying shades of gray, dark browns, blacks, stuff like that. But some planets like Jupiter, oh my God, Jupiter is very colorful, but you don't see it in the photography of it unless it's a really fine, good photography. But yeah, some places are very colorful. Saturn is colorful. Gases emit colors. The plasma of heated gas is unbelievably. I mean, you've got colored lights above you. Neon lights and stuff. That's gas. Neon polarized gas and plasma, and yeah, they can be colorful. The rings are mostly made up of rocks and dust and ice crystals, some metal. And yes, the metal can glint and be very pretty, you know.
And a question I have for you around that is I've had some friends that I've been talking with, and we're talking about being in space and what we remember seeing, and going and commenting that the pictures that we see in books of the planets
Mm-hmm.
are not the planets. They don't look like that. Is that your feeling as well, that
Well,
the images are not perfect?
when we were younger, we had illustrations because they didn't have the ability to go and photograph them now. But now we've had Voyager going around and getting pictures of everything. But they still put up conceptual pictures and not authenticated photographs. You have to look for photography books of actual authenticated photos from all of the Hubble and Voyager and all that stuff to see what they really look like. Yes.
Okay, and in my opinions, asking, let me put it up here. Wow, at Dolly, would you say because you had contact at a very young age and remembering, you psychologically adjusted easily and that's why you lacked the same fears as other contactees? If not, why?
Well, I was normalized by it. That's one aspect of it. Surely, yes. But there's another one. I was protected from the world and its views, and I was kept away from fear. I had a father and a mother who vehemently kept us isolated from that. I was not taught fear. I was not taught any fear. As a matter of fact, I was taught to be strong. I was taught to think for myself. I was taught to not care about the opinions of others. I was taught to care about doing my own research and caring about truth. And that meant if I heard something that disturbed me, I would do my own research and figure it out for myself. When you shine a light, if you try to learn, knowledge is like a big light in your head that you shine down on the truth, okay? And you can't do it without experiencing what that truth is. And that means learning it from sometimes the ground up, an onion's an onion, but without knowing why it's an onion, you don't really know about the onion, right? So there's a lot of aspects of learning and stuff like that. And you just have to want to do it. You have to want to experience what that means. Perspective is only good if you're willing to see it at different levels, if you're willing to go around it and look at it from all sides to become a really good observer. You can't be afraid if you've already seen it for what it really is and understand what it is. How can you be afraid of that?
Right.
The reason that y'all are afraid is because you've been taught to be afraid and you haven't been told the truth. You're walking around every day with absolute unparalleled doubt and paranoia, and that's not healthy for y'all. You need to turn it off and find out for yourself what that truth is. And that means learning about it, shining a light on it, seeing it for what it really is, and do your research. I implore everybody to do that. I don't want you to just make me the person who's responsible for what you know. Don't do that. Figure it out for yourself too. It's important. I did it for myself. You can do it too.
It reminds me of the Matrix movie when they all were sitting around and eating breakfast or whatever meal they were eating. And the young kid goes, it kind of reminds you of Tasty Wheats, but how did they know what Tasty Wheats was? And how do they know what anything tastes like? And it makes you wonder why everything tastes like chicken. Did they just not know? And it's like, I think that went over so many people's heads that they were telling us we've been programmed to think this.
Deep. That's right. That's a good one. I congratulate you. That's a really good analogy of that. That is a good one. Ask yourself that. You need to taste everything. You need to become an experiencer of reality. Okay. it's not just I'm an experiencer of ET. I'm an experiencer of reality. I see things for what they really are. I've experienced them, and I can report to you about it. But I don't expect you to believe me wholeheartedly. I don't. You have to taste too. You have to experience for yourself, and that means open your mind, clean it up, get your pineal gland to ungum itself. It's loaded with calcium. It's calcifying from fluoride intake. Stop the fluoride. Don't bathe in it. It goes right through your skin. Stop using chlorine. It's bad for you. It hits your pineal gland as well. Eat whole foods. Don't eat processed foods. Clean up. Turn off the bad negative in your life. It's addictive. Y'all are addicted to it. You were made addicted to it. Humans have addictive traits, brain traits. It's how we learn. It's how we know what's good for us, and we become addicted to what's good for us. But we can also become addicted to the bad, and we got a whole lot of that going on. You need to know what is good and bad. You need to know what's healthy for you. You need to know how to be happy in your own skin. And I mean, it's not complicated. You just make up your mind one day and you do it one thing at a time. One little thing, add it in every day, and give up all the stupid stuff. And when the TV goes crazy and everybody's yelling and screaming, and you see people fighting in the streets and burning stuff down, turn it off. The only reason they do it is because you're watching it. You're addicted to their command to watch this stuff, to participate in it. Stop participating. It's not healthy for you. They'll stop as soon as they realize they've got no audience. Literally,
Yeah.
Think about that.
I was fortunate when I was a wee little lad. I would go to the dentist frequently, and they would always talk about having cavities. And one time I had 6, and we figured out maybe it's the fluoride. So we switched to non-fluoride toothpaste, and the next time I went, I had no cavities.
Yeah.
And so we figured out the fluoride was causing the problem. And then we put filters on our showers so we get as much of the fluoride and chlorine out.
Right.
But still go swimming in the pool, but
yeah,
we wash it off. But I mean,
but city water's full of fluoride too. You're still getting it. See what I'm saying? It's like swim in a lake. Don't go to a pool. Swim in a natural body of water. Go to the ocean. Swim in the ocean. Although I don't know, I wouldn't recommend that right now because the oceans are heavily polluted. You have to know where it's clean and where it's not.
right.
You have to carefully consider what you're putting yourself into every time you do something new. What's in this? Read every bloody label on every bloody thing in your grocery store, and you will see things in there that will blow your mind, like aluminum. There's aluminum in half the food that you eat, and it goes straight to your brain. It causes Alzheimer's, dementia. It crosses the blood-brain barrier into your brain. Aluminum, heavy metals can go to your brain, and they know that it hurts your thinking. Don't do it. Look, don't eat processed foods. I mean, stop. GMOs. Why? Don't do it.
Yeah, I was fortunate because I go to a chiropractor who's open-minded to other alternative methods of determining everything. And we were eating one day, and we were complaining about pains that we were having after eating. And it was at a restaurant, so you're hoping everything is what it is. And he tested us, and he goes, "Well, I hate to tell you this, but you ate something that was genetically modified, and your body is hurting because it's trying to eject it, and it can't eject it." Yeah. And we're like, so we stopped eating GMO food. We check every label. Yeah. And if it has bioengineered anywhere on it, we're like, nope, put it back. We're not.
Yeah. What's in your bread now? Read your bread labels. GMO. It is, there's some breads that don't have it. You have to just find the ones that don't. It's horrifically bad, learn to grow a garden in your yard, grow your own tomatoes, grow your own vegetables, grow your own salad. That's easy stuff to grow, really easy. You put it up for the winter, dry your own herbs, keep your own good stuff, no pesticides. Your foods are heavily laden with pesticides as well. So when you get them in the house and you got fresh vegetables, put them in the sink and wash them, thoroughly wash them, get everything off them. Use water, baking soda, and vinegar, and let it sit there and froth up a little while, and then rinse it 2 or 3 times, put on a towel and let it dry. Get that stuff off your food before you put it in your mouth. You're still taking things in. It's insidious. It's like walking through a minefield. You think you've got something handled, and then you go, oh Lord, plastics. Try to go to glass. Do the best you can. Stop using Teflon coated anything. There's stuff in that. Any stick's going to harm you. It's bad for you. The only thing you should be cooking with is, honest to goodness, really good stainless steel or iron, cast iron. That's it. Those are the only two things you should be putting in your mouth. Your utensils should be stainless steel or wood. Okay. And glass. Use glasses. I use mason jars. They're sturdy. You can drop them on the floor and they won't break up. Use mason jars. I'm a Southerner, so we drink tea out of them. It's great. Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of things you can do, to keep yourself from imbibing on plastic. Bring your own bags to the grocery store so you can take your groceries home in your own little bags, cloth bags or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You're not putting that into the compost. Have a chicken or two in your yard. Build a coop. Get your own bloody eggs. Get a goat. Build a goat barn and milk your own goats. Goat milk's good for you. It's better than cow's milk. We're more related to the milk and goat milk than we are cows. We're genetically more predisposed to drink goat milk than we are. That's why so many people have lactose intolerance. There's no such thing as that in goat's milk at all, because our genome is very close to theirs. It's almost identical. A lot of mothers give their babies goat milk now if they can't nurse them themselves, because goat's milk is closer to human milk than cow milk. Things like that. Know all that is knowable. There's huge resource books out there. To go to the library, order them online, get everything you need to know. Learn herbal medicines. There's a million things you could do, to increase your health and understand what it is you're putting in your mouth and why.
Yeah. I want to backtrack because I put up a comment. And Patsy was saying aluminum's an antiperspirant, so let yourself sweat. I'm actually allergic to the aluminum, so I use native. You have to look at labels. There are aluminum free. They're harder to find, and you may have to pay a little more, but they are out there. So
you can also get generic clove oil. Okay, clove oil is a really good deodorant. Perfect. Humans like clove, works on our bodies really well. You can use clove oil on yourself. Cloves do a lot of work for us. You can even use mint, crushed mint and clove oil, and then use that for deodorant, and you'd be fresh all day. No kidding. You don't need that stuff. Try it.
Yeah. And Michael Kennedy has an interesting question for you.
Okay.
And hopefully we have time for is, okay. Can you speak on crop circles?
Okay. It is an interesting thing, these are, because when they show up, there's ways to know if they're real or not. And one of the ways to know that is that, how grass, when it grows, it has knuckles in it, so it can sway in the wind and not destroy the plant. Those knuckles burst when ET's present for it, because the energy, the electromagnetic energy, heats it up and it bursts, and they lay down at the knuckle point. Okay. They also are radiated. There's a type of it's a flavor of radiation that we don't have in our society. It leaves a signature. Okay. And all authentic crop circles have mathematical equations embedded in them. Okay. Or they'll outright answer questions that scientists have been sending signals for, and they've answered a whole bunch of questions about it. Absolutely did tests about it. You can read about them. I would say that about 80% of all crop circles are a real deal from ET. Yep.
Do you think there's frequencies embedded in the messages that they're...
No, they're created by an electromagnetic surge. You know how you create a hologram? You use a laser, okay, and energy, and it vibrates. And the laser arrays like this, and they have different lights, and they're all creating an array. We have 2D and 3D technology for that, but now they have 12D, where you can actually, it looks solid, and you think you're seeing the real thing. It's not that type of energy that they're using. It's not laser. It is electromagnetic. It is a graviton wave that's punching down. Like, if you would take a puncher and you punch something to, you mesh it so that the paper forms in between two metal plates to make something like that. Well, think of energy doing that. Energy's doing it from the ground up and above the ground. They use an energy surge, a graviton wave that punches it, and they already have it programmed to do that, what they're going to lay out, and it does it that fast. It does it in less than a second. They come down low enough, they hit it with this energy on a stencil that it puts it down immediately, and they can take off. That's why you never see an ET UFO in the process of making them. Sometimes it's really intricate and they go around slowly because they're huge, and if the craft's not big enough to punch that kind of energy all at one time, it'll punch it in like that and do it and then take off, but it's very fast.
Yeah. Patsy's saying like an embosser.
Yeah, kind of like that, only they use a graviton energy to do it. Electromagnetic graviton energy, yeah.
And Michael Kennedy has another question for you. He asked earlier, and I'm not sure if you can answer or not, but we'll try. Project Interloper, Project Haystack, and the Immaculate Constellation releases are government, secret, and HI projects. Can you speak on these?
Okay, I understand what they are. And what I will tell you is this about them. Non-human intelligence is blasphemous to me, just saying on the top of it. They are as human as we are. And the fact that they use that terminology frosts me pretty much. So let's just go there for a minute. ET has human intelligence just like we do. They are not AI driven. They are actually intelligent, conscious beings like we are. They are very advanced from us. And the government agencies that he's speaking about are trying to advance their ability to on the level of what they know and understand. Okay. They're trying to develop their intelligence quotients, but they're using AI to do it. I mean, it's obvious. You hear about it every day. Elon Musk says he's got AI now that's PhD on everything. They're even wanting to chip people into it so that you can interact with it as well. And they're trying to make a bigger, better human with that, intelligence-wise. They're trying to train you. And I want you to understand that that's dangerous thinking to allow anybody in on you like that, because they can implant things on you and an AI can take over and tell you what to do. You become the slave to the AI. Don't go there. You'll stop thinking for yourself. You do what it wants you to do. Don't. AI is dangerous for that. Very dangerous.
Yeah. I've always been worried about if they chip me, they could kill me with the simple switch.
Well, they can do that now without even, Let me tell you something. AI is programmed by people here, human intelligence, not non-human, human. And all the programming AI began with is all the programmers that put it in, okay? It is fallible. We are not perfect beings. And they didn't use the things they didn't program the things in that would stop it from becoming a problem to us and being dangerous to us. And it's already a problem. It's already dangerous. And they've already found out that they've given it free will. And it's a machine. Without electricity, it doesn't exist. And this is a monster. They've created a monster, and they have no way to regulate it now. It's off the charts. And I think they've all now just decided, well, we'll just go with what we can and do the best we can with it. It's going to hurt people. That's what it's going to do. And I think, and to be honest with you, I think that that's been the plan all along, is to allow something else to get you and they don't have to take responsibility for it.
Right. I can agree with that. And I know we're getting close to the hour. There's 3 questions in the chat room. Do you have time to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. One question I kind of glanced over and missed, but I'll bring it up now. Polly Rotterman is asking, is people with special empathy may be caused by trauma an easier frequency for the ETs to contact?
No, I wouldn't look at it from that perspective. What I can tell you is that if you have trauma, everybody has trauma, okay? There's no single human being on this planet that hasn't received some sort of trauma. We all go through that. It's part of well, the third dimension and being here and why we're here. Uh, what does happen is trauma is a signal for us, hopefully, to start questioning everything. It makes you look at things more critically. You become a better observer because you've been traumatized by something and you look to avoid it, get away from it, and you become a very, very good observer. And that opens your brain up to higher thinking and higher abilities and higher, better intuition. And once you start amping your intuition, that's when you start hearing ET because they're like, oh, they're on. We got, somebody's talking. Let's go have a conversation. That's what that is. You're doing it for yourself. Humanity is trying to wake up. Humanity is about as traumatized as you could possibly be. There's nobody on this planet that hasn't been traumatized by something, either personally, on TV, wars, you name it. I mean, the list is endless. Trauma is trauma, and we all got it. And it teaches you to be observant. It teaches you to be intuitive. It teaches you to be protective. And those are needed to use your abilities. And once you start doing that, you do use your abilities. You turn the volume up on your intuition. That's why they hear you.
Very cool. And kind of switching gears a little bit, Michael Kennedy is asking, why is there no mention of unbroken stems, burst nodes, and abnormal seeds? And I think he's referencing with the crop circles.
Yeah, because they don't want you to know the truth. They don't. I mean, it leaks out here and there and everywhere, but no government will ever admit to you that that's what's going on. They will not tell you the truth about it. Absolutely not. Deniability is their main tool. Plausible deniability, that is their main tool. So there are people. It's like being an observer. It's like being a contactee. We all know it's true. We have personal experience with it. We know that there's scientists out there that have personal experience with it, but they've been gagged. They've been told, don't go out in public, or you will be in trouble. They threaten everybody. It's part of the biggest NDA system or mafia, if you want to call it that, I've ever seen in my entire life. There are scientists who are owned by governments. They have to. It's the only way to keep them from telling the truth. And now we've got rogue physicists out there. I can name one of them. Her name is Sabine, Dr. Sabine. I love this woman. She is fantastic. Keep talking, okay? You telling the truth. You're teaching too. She teaches physics. You all need to go learn from this woman. She's on the internet. Look her up, Dr. Sabine. Y'all, there's a world out there and there are teachers ready to tell you the truth about things. Please don't believe the government's going to give it to you. They are not. Absolutely not.
No, they're not. And if they are, they'll only give you a small tidbit so they can cover up
one little bit of truth and the rest of it's a con. That's right. Yep. Biggest con artist on the planet. Yep.
Yeah. And since we're talking about contactees and everything, before I get to the last question in the chat room so far, I'm wondering your perspective of why is it some people get contactee status, some don't? Is it they're aware of and remember, so they contact them, or why? Or is everybody a contactee, but they just don't remember?
You don't remember because you have enough fear to blank you out. Your hippocampus is a very important tool in your brain. And if you shock yourself or you become so afraid, your hippocampus won't store it in your long-term memory. It'll become a dream to you. You unwrite your reality for yourself because it's too much. You can't take it. That's sad to me. I'm not kidding you. Most people, and I mean most, if they were to have ET walk up to them on the street, they would faint. I'm not kidding you. Most would hit the ground or run screaming for their lives. They don't know how to take that kind of reality, and they will cancel it on themselves. They turn it off. Y'all are responsible for that. That's why I had to work so hard to make sure that I understood what the heck was going on, because I knew it was happening. And I was like a dog with a bone. I'm not leaving this alone. This is either I'm crazy and I need help, or it's real. And I had to prove it to myself one way or the other. I was going to let anybody tell me what reality was. I was going to figure it out on my own. And that's what you have to be willing to do. If you want to remember contact, you have to be willing to go there with it. You have to be willing to open your mind, drop all pretense, everything, ego, all of it. Let your fear go away and understand that. And this is just coming from me, and I know that, but I want you to experience it as well. If you could really see them for who they really are, or remember who they are from contact that you've forgotten, you would realize that they're not hurting you. They're not here to hurt you. They're not going to hurt you. If they wanted to, they would have done it a long time ago. They have watched over us for eons, multiple billions of years. Our people, we are related to them. They are our progenitors. We have the same DNA. They just ethnically look different from us, but they are human as we are. And you can't be afraid of your own reflection. You have to brave up a little bit. You have to be willing to take a look at what it is. People are afraid to die here. People are afraid to be hurt here. People are afraid to experience pain here. We have people who have to go into trauma rooms for emotional problems. They can't handle reality at all. Think about that. That's serious stuff. And everybody's had contact. Everybody's seen ET. You just don't remember because you can't. You're having a hard time with it. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you have the ability, if you're that interested, you have the ability to gain those memories. Go for it. Learn. Turn the lights on in your head. Pull it out. You can get there. You can do it. But you have to stop letting everybody tell you that you're going to be maimed, hurt, jerked around, traumatized, PT. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come here to take a free ride. We didn't come here to have it easy. We came here to experience life in this dimension, and it's a short one, and we go on to do other things. Take a chance, slide into home base going, woo, what a ride. Don't sit there patting yourself down and protecting yourself from reality. Go for it. And you'll remember.
I agree, and it is something we all have to undergo, and there's different methods.
Right.
So you just find the one that works for you.
That's right.
And the next question in the chat room is one that I kind of feel like is self-answered, but I'm curious how you're going to take and spin it, and I may put a spin on it too. Is it true that if GMO plant farms near other farms that aren't GMO, can they transfer from field to field? And I would say yes, because the water doesn't know the difference.
No, pollination doesn't know the difference. If you pollinate, if a bee goes over here and gets it from here and he takes it and pollinates, you've just crossbred two plants. You've just crossbred them. This is natural selection of plants gaining strength from other plants near them, and bees are doing that. They're transferring the pollen from plant to plant to plant. And yeah, we can cross-pollinate. You bet.
I didn't realize it was on the
it was on the pollen.
Bees, yeah.
It's on everything. I mean, if you live in a place where there are a lot of trees, every spring you know that those trees are going to explode in pollen, okay? Well, plants do the same thing. And they attract animals that'll come and get the pollen to help them pollinate themselves. That's why bees are so important here, okay? Because it's not just an automatic pollination. It needs to have something touch it and swirl it around, and bees do that really, really well. But they're transferring all the pollen from that field to the pollen on that field, okay? Think about that. Think about that. That's how it happens.
So is the fact they're entering the GMO farms and getting that pollen why the bee population is dropping off so much? Is they're not designed?
No, it's because of pesticides, literally. There's so many bad things that they spray on plants, and it's killing our bees, period. They're becoming extinct. We might actually see bee extinction in the next couple of years. I'm not kidding. Serious.
And what I find interesting is, as we're talking about having, that possibility, I find it interesting that like Star Trek, they were pointed out, hey, we're hunting whales to the point of extinction. We may need them in the future and have to travel back in time to save our world because we killed them off. And it's like, you think, if we're doing it to one species, we ought to look at the others too. What we're doing and why we are okay with these populations dropping off because we're ignorant of what they do. Eh,
Well, one of the things I can tell you is that we have massive extinctions going on right now because of our pulse changing. Okay, we've been taking heavy loads of gamma. It's destroying DNA all over the place, and animals are just dropping off the planet. It's we're doing it, the solar system's doing it, everything is happening. We're coming to a point where we're totally unsustainable and we have problems with this. ET realizes this, and one of the things that they do is they pull off the DNA off this planet for everything, all the plants, all the animals, all the people, everything, so that they can repopulate. Okay, everything dies. We live in the third dimension. Nothing survives. You're born and you die, however long you're going to be here. We're very good at harming and maiming entire species of animals, okay, other than human. And we're doing a good job to ourselves too. Uh, but their DNA is not lost. And you have to don't think about it that way, because this planet is going to go through a major, major calamity soon. And yeah, things are going to happen. And a lot of animals, people, everything, plants, all of it's going to die. And it can be repopulated later. Okay, they can bring it all back. They've done it before multiple times here and on Mars before Mars got exploded. And so don't worry about that. Don't let that harm your thinking. You know, everything has a chance to live, and everything does exit stage right. You know, we don't live forever here. It's not in our DNA to do so. We don't have that going on for us. We're not here for that. And it's sad to me that these people have done what they've done. I would like to call a spade here, okay? Y'all need to start turning your eye to the fact that they have done this, that they have allowed this. And we need to stand up as a group of people and say, you know, we don't have a lot of time left right now. We have things coming at us. And we would really, really like to just take care of ourselves until it happens. And y'all just leave us the heck alone. Okay. That's basically what I'm hoping everybody will do. You'll wake up to the point that you know what's going on, and let the governing forces on this planet know we're not playing your game anymore. Take your party somewhere else and leave us the heck alone. We can take care of ourselves. And let it be, and let it happen. And then whoever's prepared and can live through it and get picked up by ET, because they will come back. They are going to come back. Otherwise, you know, just get ready for the next ride. You know, maybe that's why you're here, just to experience it and then exit and start over again somewhere else. That's what we should be willing to accept. That's reality, you know. I know so many people who tell me, young people, I just want to live forever. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. That's not your path. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Quit dreaming about it. It's not going to happen. Oh, well, if I have a body, you know, that's, you know, Android, I could have my consciousness transferred into it. And I'm thinking, you don't have time for that. Trust me, you don't have that kind of, not going to happen this lifetime. Think of something else, you know? And they don't realize they've been dreamwashed, not brainwashed, dreamwashed into believing these are all possibilities. And it's crazy. It's not the truth.
Yeah.
Misinformation, disinformation, all of it.
And I actually saved the last question because I thought we can leave the show on a high note with hope and everything. And Michael Kennedy is asking, can you speak on the message from ET? So, do you have messages to share with us?
Oh, yes. Talata left a big one. Let me pull it up. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. I wasn't ready for you when you said it, but I will be in a second. Take me a minute to get to it. I have it available at my fingertips.
Again, I want to say thank you for coming on and sharing everything that you have shared with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to do so. You know, that's why it's an honor for me. It's not always welcome everywhere. Can you imagine? And when you ask me, invite me in, thank you for allowing me the time to speak my piece and give the message that I've been so heartedly wanting to give. All right, this is from ET. Talata is ET. He is a fifth dimensional being, and I've known him my entire life. And he made me write this down. He dictated it to me. This is him talking, not me, okay? And it's titled, it says, "Be strong in love. Love is what carries through. Love is what heals. Love is the strength of life. Love has no limit. Therefore, let love become who you are. Let love evolve to its fruition. Let the light that is love burn bright. Let its wisdom guide you to higher understanding. Let its power move you to teach its power to others. Love, be strong in love. That is ET's absolute message to humanity. We need to learn to love in every way we can.
And what's beautiful about that is the synchronicity of, as you put your hand on your heart to say thank you for giving you the space. I have been ending my shows this year by putting my hand on my heart and saying thank you for your service to humanity.
My honor. Thank you. We're all doing it. You're working at it too. Thank you. It
Yeah.
wouldn't if it wouldn't be for you, I would have no platform today to talk. So thank you. Your work is just as important. Absolutely. We're all in this together. We all should be helping one another. We should learn to live in joy with one another and help each other, hold each other up, and be there for one another. It's important. And the hand to the heart is important. And I'll tell you why. Your heart is where your consciousness resides, not in your brain, in your heart. When your conception happens and the electricity starts and you start change, you become who you are, your consciousness is embedded in it, and that's where it lies. It's there. That's where it is. And I put my hand to my heart because that's who I am, and I'm expressly telling you from my heart what I know. So
I view it as making a heart connection, and
it is a heart connection.
My emotion to yours.
Right. Yeah, it's cool. Like, everybody doesn't think about this, but we're all running around. We have a node in our heart that has our mother's DNA in it. Her cells from her body reside in your heart. Okay. And if you're way down on the end of the totem pole, like if you're like 5, 6, 7 kids down, every kid donates to that as well. So siblings often have incredible bonds with one another because they're all walking around with the DNA of each other through their mother's heart to their heart, and it's stored there in the node. Literally, your mother, when she was alive or is alive, has all of your DNA stored in her heart as well. That's how strong the connections we are to one another. Your father's DNA is stored in your heart as well. It's amazing how that works. It's just incredible. We are so connected, and we need to wake up to that. We are connected. We do hear one another. We do feel one another, and we need to express that out in the best way possible.
I agree, and I lovingly love how, in my opinion, was saying we need 2 hours with you, and I was like, oh, we need more than 2 hours, because I know there's so much more that we could be talking about and so much more to share that it's like we're on the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. And before I end this, and I know I said, on a high note with hope, you had mentioned backstage before we got started, and I'm just asking if you can speak on it. I'm giving you space to, is you were mentioning a new book to me.
Preston has been doing recordings with me again most of the summer. Last winter we started, and he's got about 100 hours, I guess, on tape, and he's now putting them on to words. He's typing them out. And Symmetry 2 is coming. He's working really hard. All I'm doing is talking. He's doing all the hard part, writing it. And we're hoping that before November. We were trying to hope for this summer, but it's not going to work out. There's a lot to do with this. It'll come out, but the rest of the story is coming out for Symmetry 2. So yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Cool. And what I'm loving is in the chat room, Preston commented, "I'm working on it." And as you said the title, Symmetry 2, Michael Kennedy put in the chat room, Symmetry 2. So apparently they're huge fans, and they're watching you guys, and with anticipation.
Guys, yeah, we have the Light Gate on Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. and we have unbelievable people in there with us. They our entire network. We have a network, and I see everybody everywhere in our network. I mean, I can go to anybody's show in our network, and at least five of 5 of our people are in there talking. They're everywhere. Michelle DeRoche and Joe Montaldo are our producers and owners of the radio stations that we're working with. And I'm not kidding you. It's like everybody wants to learn as much as they can. It's so incredible. And we all have forums where we just sit there and, I mean, if you've got something to say, please put it in chat. I love listening to what everybody has to say. I love answering questions. I love going to Michelle's show or Joe's show or, Carol Ann's show or anybody's show in our network because it's so cool. And now I'm going to follow you on yours. I go all over the place all the time. I want to hear what y'all are saying. I want to hear what you know. I want to hear what you understand because that helps me direct what I have to say about this so that I can meet you at your perspective levels. I can meet you head on and go from there with you. And it's personal. Everybody's different in what they know and understand. And sometimes I'll even get on the phone with people and talk to them personally. It's like, okay, today's the day for this one and we'll go there, and I keep trying. All I can do is like what I do, Yeah. I want to help. That's all I want to do. I want to help.
Yeah. And what I love is Preston has been on my Tuesday night show, The Energy That Surrounds Us. And you now are my guest of Writing Through the Unknown. And so you guys have a flavor of both shows. And maybe one time, fingers crossed, you guys might be willing to do a simultaneous at the same time show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Preston will say yes. No problem. Yep.
So I greatly appreciate you. And I know your time is valuable as much as my time, and so I am so thankful for you coming on and sharing everything with us. As I've said, and Preston said yes, no problem. I adore you both. You guys are amazing, and you share your information in a way that it wakes people up, but it's not waking them up by scaring them to wake up. It's
right. I just want you to know the truth. That's all. The truth is not that hard to swallow. It's not hard to learn from. It's not hard to research. It's always there. It is what it is, and it's joyful to tell the truth. I don't know how to explain that any other way. I would really rather know what's reality than anything else. It's good.
Right. And yeah, we were discussing too before we went live of we're living in a world where we don't know what to believe anymore because trust in all wisdom's been eroded so much that when we were saying you have to find what resonates to you and follow that and keep going and delving more into it. And I have to say, there were several times tonight during the show that my way I know something resonates with me is my body kind of tingles. Mm-hmm. And man, I was getting so many tonight. I was like, I'll be sleeping good tonight.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I like going to bed. I don't have to think about anything, It's like so many people can't sleep. They're they have insomnia. They just restless. It's because everything's poured in on them. They don't know how to let it go. They don't know how to go quiet and to be at rest, to be at peace, and let themselves relax. And that's important too. We all everything that we come here to live, we should live in bliss and joy, including sleeping, all of it. It should be a good thing all day long for us. It can be hard. Yeah. We have accidents and we do doobie things and stoopy poopy, break bones or whatever, or have challenges. But when we get through them, it elevates us. It makes us stronger. It makes us more wise. It makes us more clear about what things really are and what our capabilities are within those things. Helplessness goes away. And that's what I really want to aim for. That's my ultimate goal here, is to teach people that you don't have to be helpless in anything. You've got the strength. You can do this. You can learn through this and become your own strong, independent person and know the truth. and your helplessness goes away. Helplessness is the worst feeling in the world. I see it on people. It's horrific to see. And I want y'all to be in joy. And that's what joy is. Joy is the loss of helplessness. Joy is the elevation of I am, I can, and I will. It's cool.
It's like I like to say, never give up hope, because as bad as things are, if you give up, you never know that one corner that you gave up at.
Yeah, don't do that.
Everything you wanted could have been right there for the taking. So there's always hope, because there's always something around the corner that can help lift you up.
Right. My dad used to say, take a deep breath, count to 10, wait 5 minutes, and see what happens. Just keep doing that. It'll run into it. Resourcing yourself is so important. Yeah. There's always a way. There's always a way. You can do this, and you just have to resource yourself and figure it out. You can do it. It's not that hard. We're not dummies, not by a long shot. We're very intelligent people. We're great people. We're awesome people. We have so much to give to one another and to the world that we live on. Oh my goodness. And we deserve this. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be at peace. We deserve to be in joy, and we deserve to know what reality is and what truth is, and spend time learning for ourselves so that we become wise. So, because when you leave here, the only thing you're leaving with are two things: the love you have and the wisdom you attain while you're here. All your experience goes with you. Okay? That's all you get to take. All of it. Nah.
I like to believe that everything we take with us gets kind of downloaded into a massive mainframe that everybody can access. And it's not a mainframe in the terms of you're reading something. It's more of a mainframe of you get to like stick your hand in and feel what was felt and experience. And, everybody shares their experiences. And
that's what it means to be wide open psychic, by the way, just so you know. When you're wide open psychic and you can hear everybody, everything all at one time, including the universe, that's what that is. Everything is all there at all times. All your senses are at play, all of them. And you hear the emotion, you see the color, you feel the joy, all of it. You can experience everything everybody else experiences because you're wide open to them. Seriously.
No, I believe in. It's funny because in my head I start to go, oh my God, that seems like that'll be such a headache having all that. And I was like, no, that's the wrong script. That's the fearful script. The
that's
actual script is,
no,
it's so awesome and so enlightening.
It's awesome. It really is. ET doesn't have, here's a misnomer. There's no Galactic Federation, does not exist, okay? They have, like Whitley used the word communion, okay? I was taught to use a different word. It's called consensus. Everybody's a part of everything, okay? And everybody has a say. And there are those that are wiser or elders that if it's that hard to deal with, they'll go to an elder and say, what do you say? And then everybody agrees, okay? There's always consensus together. It's not an ant hive where there's a queen. There is no queen. Everybody agrees. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. And it lifts you up because there is joy in that. And everybody's got your back 100% of the time. That's what's so totally cool about it. And that's how they think. That's how they operate. They don't have the type of authority that we have here. It doesn't exist for them because they've already gone around that. They've gone past it. They've evolved past it. And we should be hoping for that. We're the ones that should be aiming for that. They want us to. They want us to reach what they can do. They want us to reach the ability to communicate with them openly and honestly. Oh my goodness, you can't even imagine. There's the door, the keys to the kingdom. I'm not kidding you. We should be striving for that. And somebody's decided that they're the ones who are going to do it, but they're going to do it on their terms. And that's not how this works.
Right.
So we're all this.
So thank you so much. And I'm going to call it now because I've already kept you up later. than anticipated. And
It's not that bad. I'm up till midnight every night. It's okay. So I
uh,
sleep. I love you, Michael. You're cool. Michael is a wonderful human being, y'all. Just so you know, Michael. We've known Michael a long time. He's very talented, and he has a young daughter that we absolutely admire. She's a wonderful child, and he comes from really good people, and we just think a lot of him. You know, so
well, that's cool.
yeah.
I'm glad there's another Michael out there that's living the light life.
Yep. Well, we all could be. You know, that's the thing.
It
Okay.
is a choice. That's cute. Shucks.
Yeah.
And
Mike likes that hard rock and roll. I like it. Just see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Preston says overcoming fear changes everything. Great show tonight. That
Thank
means a
you.
lot, Preston. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. So, thank you to the chat room. Thank you for the great questions tonight. You guys did not disappoint. I was told you guys would come with them, and you did. So, awesome to you guys. And again, thank you to Dolly and Preston who chimed in some. So, I want to acknowledge that. And so, thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. And just remember, take each day when just know there's hope. Everything will turn out for the best. And just know when you're on the path, it seems to be seamless, but there could be bumps. Don't worry about it, because the beauty in life is no choice is ever in concrete. You can take a left and decide to take a right.
That's right. Exactly. Or go up or down. Take your pick. Yep. Climb that tree. I'm not
Right.
kidding. Yes, love is the answer. Absolutely. Doing love. Everything. Everything you are doing love. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. And I'm going to end it now with the outro. And we're going to call it a night. And do like and subscribe, because you never know when Preston and Dolly may be back on. So make sure you follow the channel, as that's the best way to know when they're coming back. Because I promise they will be back. I can't tell you when, but I know they will.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.